Hello guys and welcome to Mark Shrimp Tanks. Today I was doing a little bit culling in my room and I thought, you know, why don't I show you guys exactly what I'm doing today, because I do plan to go through a few tanks, starting over here with the Sulawesi. This is the one I'm on right now. I'm not actually culling the Sulawesi. What I'm doing is I'm feeding the tank here with a pellet, and I'm basically waiting, guys, for any cherry shrimp to come past and I'm going to catch them. Because that is a technique that's used when you set up Sulawesi tanks to get the Sulawesi to be more active to feed. It's almost like the cherry shrimp or the training shrimp of the tank until the Sulawesi really colonize the tank properly before they get used to it. Okay, so the cherry shrimp that were in here absolutely thrived. I think this is like the third culling I've done on this, and none of my shrimp get killed. I know a lot of you are probably sick of hearing me say the same thing. They go into the cull tub. These ones specifically will go into the painted fire red tank because these are painted fire reds, the ones that are in here. So I did notice a few over here still. Anything that's like totally teeny and left in the gravel will be left. I think I've done a very good job so far. I'm actually struggling to see a single painted fire red, not even the odd one. All over the tank you can see the Sulawesi. Lots and lots of little babies, right? So it's important in a tank like this, especially when you have teeny little Sulawesi like there, and the ones in the back, and all these little ones that are hiding under this rock here. It's important that you keep on taking out the cherry shrimp because they are competing for food. I see one here, let's get this one. They are competing for food and biofilm. And Sulawesi are predominantly a biofilm eater. I can see some cherry shrimp, some painted fire reds down the back there, but we probably won't get them today. Just let them come out naturally. What you want to do is you want to get them out of the tank before they reach breeding sizes. Okay, so we have a little painted fire red here. I'm using the GoPro Hero 5 as well. It's a little tiny shrimp there, you see it? And you want to make sure you get these guys out before they get to breeding size. Now with painted fire reds and cherry shrimp in general, that size can be pretty small. You're talking like a centimetre before you see like a saddle, before they get buried. They get buried and can reproduce at a very small size, right? So it's important that you keep on doing your culling when you do a tank like this. Let's get this guy out here. I have them over here in the net already. Let's see if I can get this guy out of the net without using two hands, because it's quite hard to do. Normally I push the net in from the other side to get the shrimp to swim out, but you can see the issues I'm going to have with one hand. Right, so you get the gist of it. This one's almost coming out. Come on, there you go. Did you see it? Yes. So this is what we've taken out here today. Let me see, there's probably a good 25-30 little shrimp in here. Right, and they will be going straight in to the painted fire red tank over here. Now these type of shrimp are very hardy, especially the Neocaridinas, where you can do this. I wouldn't suggest you doing it with any other type of shrimp, right? Especially bee shrimp. You probably kill the bee shrimp if you tried this with them. I just want to make sure, one more last look here before we move on to the next tank, just to see if we can spot anything that's like near the front here. Lots of little Sulawesi under here. Now this tank does need teeny clean, but there's so many baby Sulawesi in here, I'm a little bit scared to do it. I can see a tiny little, I think it's a little cherry shrimp here, little painted fire red, just maybe too small. It's very small, you see. So this one, I'm going to leave this one in the tank just because of the size. It's like a teeny little runt of a little shrimp. You probably see it swimming down there. But because the parents were removed from here roughly about 3 weeks ago. Okay, so I just want to see if I can see any other bigger ones, anything that might be nearing breeding size, and I don't think I can actually. There's probably like one or two in the back here, but that is it. But you can see already like the Sulawesi here starting to climb the rocks. You see them? You want to give them as much food as possible. You see a tiny little cherry shrimp, painted fire red, just on the little rock here. Can't see anything else, so we shall let these guys go into the other tank. You can see the little Sulawesi here as well. What I'll do, guys, as well, because I know it's very, very hard for you guys to see, on this GoPro camera. I'll get some macro shots of these and I'll put them up here somewhere in the corner just so you can see these little babies, because it's often very hard for me to say. It's something like, oh, look at this beautiful little Sulawesi here, and I can see it with the naked eye, but I know you can't really see them with the GoPro, right? So I'll get some macro footage, put it up here in the corner for the duration of this shot. Now let's get these guys here into the retank. Lots and lots of painted fire reds in here. I've just fed them to bring them to the front. We might do this tank today as well, actually, because I think this one does need a little bit of a culling too, so we'll have that to look forward to as well. This is probably going to be the third tank we do. Let's just get these guys in here. Hopefully this fits. I didn't think about it while I was filming. I think I moved the camera forward a little bit. Not the camera, the light. I think I put it forward a little bit when I was filming the other day and I forgot to put it back, right? So again, not always the best camera for showing you guys, but just to give you a gist of what we do here at Mark Shrimp Tanks Shrimp Room. Make sure they're all out. Duck the thing back in the water again, because you will often get painted fire reds, cherry shrimp, any kind of shrimp. You will often get them like stuck into the container, right? So let's get that out. Now the next one, anything in there? The next one might surprise you guys, and that is we're going to do the blue dreams already. Now I know they've just started breeding, but there's enough of them in there for us to start culling. Let's go have a look. Let's take our little thingamajig that I just dropped. Let's go have a look. Right, these guys were fed yesterday and today, so they're not all coming to the front, but some of them I can tell already that I do not want in the tank. Again, I'll put an image up here, some macro footage of some of these shrimp. And what I'm looking for here, guys, is with this type of blue dream is I'm looking for shrimp that are not very coloured, not very, you know, the colour's kind of poor. So let's get a little bit of water, lots of duckweed in this tank. Duckweed. So these guys have had lots and lots of babies, so this is why we can afford to do this culling sooner rather than later, because I can see babies all over the place, all over the rocks and stuff. Right, and I don't want the shrimp in here that are more or less undesirable to keep on breeding in here, because it's going to make our work harder in the future. But you can see, you can kind of see the grade of the shrimp I want here in the back. You see the blue dream there? It's very dark. It's a very dark blue, very dark blue. The males, look at that one. That one's gorgeous. It's almost black, that one. All up the back, in the corners. Right, so we are going to remove specifically the ones that look like carbon relays, like that one there. You probably can't see either. And this one here, this is a girl that I noticed before, that she's almost like a blue jelly type thing, right, which is not what we want in a blue dream tank. Right, so let's get the net in here. There's lots and lots of algae. I've just fed them as well to try and bring them to the front. If we're lucky here, we might get these two shrimp, because these ones are pretty docile. This one's not as bad as I thought, actually. But when you look at the girls walking away there, these girls that are walking away are super blue and dark. Right, and there's another one, this male. I'm going to see if we can just get this male here. Two birds with the one stone kind of thing. Because this male is I don't know, it looks more like a carbon relay type thing. It's almost black as well. There's literally no blue in it. If I was selling this to someone, it would be a cull. So that is where these guys will be going, in the cull tub. Alright, so let's get these out. Take it gently, slowly, get them to the top, and just be careful here, right? I'm holding the GoPro with my hand, but I would normally cover this because the bigger shrimp can jump. And I have had them jump out of these little nets before. Get in the tank, get in your wee jar thingamajig, go for it, two of you. As I said, it's much easier when you've got two hands to do this. There you go, come on. Let's get back in the tank, because I did notice in here as well, there's lots and lots of like brown type babies in here. So I'm seeing that these guys do not breed true either, which is fair to say with a lot of the neos. Here there's like, oh my god, they're like brown. There's lots and lots of them here. So a lot of these are not that good looking. Another one, there's like 5. They're all over here. 6, 7, that is a lot of young to take out this tank that are really not that well coloured. It's very disappointing actually to see that many of the babies so poorly coloured at this age. You want them to be dark blue. Some of them are, you can maybe just see them in the little colony shot here of how dark I want them to get, but that is a lot of young to take out in the beginning. One scoop of the net that are all more or less clear or brown, which is not that good. But the ones that are left I can see here are fine. It's like the odd one that's still brown. So let's get these guys out as well. As I said, this would be much easier with 2 hands. But we just have to be patient, right? These guys won't jump out because they're so small. And we just have to let them come out on their own. By the way, if you see that flickering, it's because there's a difference in the frequency of the light here. It's not like so. It's not. This is something I can't really fix. Come on, I think there's one more left in there. Maybe, is it one? It's a snail, I think. I think we've been very lucky there. Let's have a little look. Yep, it was just a snail. Right, so any more little fellas that need to come out right now? Right, so as I said, right, that it's not so important that the small ones come out, but the bigger ones that are the breeding age where they put more undesirable genetics into the tank, it's important that you get them out. So we've done not bad there, actually. We've taken 2 adults out and I don't know, about half a dozen youngsters, something like that. I can't tell if this one there under the net is going to be good or not, so it can stay. All the rest of them seem fine actually. But this is the kind of culling that you have to do to keep your colonies breeding as true as possible. Remember when I was taking out all those youngsters that are on the bottom here and I said most of them aren't true, they're kind of like brown. And well, the more you do this, the better your breeding results will be, because dark blue shrimp breeding with dark blue shrimp will give you more or less dark blue shrimp most of the time, right? But if you let the little brown ones breed with the dark blue shrimp, you'll get like 50-50 mix kind of thing. Alright, so again, as I said, I'll put a macro image up in the left hand corner here so you can see all these little beautiful shrimp, because they are gorgeous. There's more and more in here that I can see every day. There's another clear one. These will be going in the cull tub. Where are you? This one's away at the back. Just leave that in there and it came out itself. Right, so we're still looking for the odd little straggler. Like there, see this male here? This male is almost black. It's a bit strange, this one actually. It's almost like a black sakura. Right, and the one behind it is blue. Which one do you cull? I would say the black looking sakura probably has blue genetics in it, so it's going to be the better one to breed with a nice looking female. Hello, I don't know how you got in the net there, little young man. Alright, so we'll move on to the next tank. I don't think we're going to get much more out of this. I'm looking at the back, I can see some shrimp. There's some of them in this stuff and away up here, but they're really dark blues, so let's get on to the next tank, I think, which is the painted fire tank. As I said, all my Neos tanks get the same water. I mix the salty buffer. I did the same for all the tanks. Like, just let me show you, because it's easier for me to show you than to try and explain. Same water, same water, same water, same water, same water. Then the B tanks as well, they're all the same water, they're all the same parameters. Okay, so I basically have 2 sets of parameters in this room, B shrimp and, you guessed it, Neocaridina. Neocaridina, tiger and crayfish. Now that big one I can see in there swimming around in a circle, it's not that bad actually. You see it, the biggest one that's blue right at the top here. It's not that bad, but it's almost like a blue really type thing. So they can go and live their life in here. And I actually sell these shrimp as culls, and they go more or less as a lucky bag type thing, because when you get culls like this guys, right, it doesn't mean that they're bad shrimp, it just means the genetics are not what you want in the tank. But it doesn't mean that someone else can't work with them and get the shrimp that they want. Okay, so let's get down here. Let's see what's next. This tank is probably my worst one for culling because it hurts my back quite a bit coming down here. Don't worry, I will survive. I will survive. Alright, so again, I'll put a macro shot up here, but this tank is a painted fire red tank. And what we're looking for in here, guys, is, let me just get some water so we can start this straight away. And I can talk while I'm doing it. Oh, my back just cracked lovely there, thank you. Oh. What we're looking for here is shrimp that are not painted fire reds, right? So if I'm going to grade something, the first thing I would remove is shrimp that look like cherry shrimp, basically, right? So anything that looks like cherry shrimp, let's get into here, get them out. There's quite a lot of them here. Here's one that looks like a rilly type of thing. This one. And this is a boy, so this one is of breeding age. Really? Oh, really? No, we don't want to see you. Get in there. You know what I might do, guys, is this GoPro's on a tripod. Let's put you on the tripod so I could at least use two hands when I'm doing stuff here. Alright. You guys could just sit like this. Maybe, is that a good enough angle for me to sit and explain things? Oh. Still sore my elbow though. I'm not used to like sitting this way. Get in. That one did not want to go in. Oh. Right, so we're looking for shrimp that look like cherry shrimp. And we're also looking for, what is that there? Nothing. We're looking for shrimp that are that have a backline as well, right? And I'm not going to dive straight into this pile here and start netting left, right, and center. I'm looking for shrimp that are on the outskirts that are easier to catch. I'm also looking for in this tank. I'm also looking for a dwarf crayfish in here because you guys will know I had dwarf crayfish in here before, and they kind of decimated the population here quite a bit. And I wasn't sure if it was them or not until one day I did actually see dwarf crayfish grab a girl. This net is kind of stuck. Grab a girl and more or less rip it to bits. You know, a female cherry shrimp, which wasn't nice to see. So I decided there and then to take that shrimp out of the tank. All the little cray-crays came out of this tank into another tank. Is that girl buried as well? That one, so just goes to show. The type of grade that I would like in here is the blood clotted red type shrimp. See if we can, I don't normally dive into the pile here, but there's quite a poor looking cherry shrimp in here. There, come on. Trying to separate you from the herd. There's two of them here actually. Right next to them, three. Come on. Got one of them. Got two of them. You see them? One is a little male and one of them is both of them are males actually. They escaped. I'll tell you what, that ramshorn snail that was in there was pretty corroded. I have to look at the increasing the calcium in this tank. I do actually have calcium tabs that I normally use, but I can see like the ones I put in yesterday here have like dissolved away to nothing already. So that could be a sign that you have too much organic mulp in the tank, because I do use a Neocaridina buffer here, right, so that shouldn't be happening. Right, let's go for any backliners. Let's just spread this pile out a little bit. There you go. Get some shrimp in the net there. Doesn't matter if you catch the odd one in the net. It's not like you're going to miss the odd shrimp. But it makes it very hard doing this with one arm. And here's another backliner. Come on. There you go. So this is another backliner here. Did I get that? I did. And this one is a jumper, so we have to be careful. This one, you should really, this type of shrimp, any Neocaridina, you should really do every single week because they breed quite. Here's one. They breed quite fast. Here's quite a cool one to see. I haven't seen in a long time, which will be going somewhere else. Come on, did I lose it there? Nope. Where are you? Here. Look at this. This is a cool little one. You might not be able to see this either, but this is actually a blue. It's almost like a blue jelly, and this has come from the painted fire red. So this is just a little cool shrimp. I'm going to put this in the little really tank I have up above. Oh really, you said? Oh really, Mark? Little blue really. Because we might be able to get some nicer little release from it. I actually normally take these out of this tank, but this one's a nice little blue one. Anything that's like a darker blue, I like to remove. We'll see if we can do something with them. You guys are like, yeah, what, blue from a painted fire red tank? Yes. Painted fire reds come from a blue line of Neocaridina. You're like, wait, what? Yes, that's true. And so we're still looking for any stragglers here. There's a nice one with a big back line. This one's actually like a cherry shrimp, this one. That's what it looks like. This is the kind of culling that you have to do in a tank like this. There's another tank here we might have a look at in a second. If you guys are not bored, we can move on to another tank as well, because this one's not as bad as I thought it was actually. There's still shrimp in here I could take out, but they're all like in the herd kind of thing. I hate diving into the, you know, the herd where you're going to be catching all different types of shrimp, and I prefer to get them out one by one kind of thing. And so that's a lot of them. There's another one there I just seen. Let's see. It's trying to get to the herd. Get back. Oh. Oh, this one's going cray-cray. Let's see, coming out. So this was another backliner, this one. And while I'm waiting for this guy to come out, I'm actually looking at the tank as well. Right, so in there again, as I said, I'm looking for blood clot red shrimp. Now I've let this tank really go. They're nowhere near that grade that they used to be. But I do see some shrimp in there that are still like that, so it's not impossible to go back if you have been lazy with the grading. Come on. You have to always check your net as well, because you'll often get like baby shrimp and stuff stuck to it. Any more? The other thing you should also look for, guys, is painted fire reds. You shouldn't be able to see a saddle. So if you're seeing saddles in the shrimp, the grading is low. So you need to remove them. Yes, I know you're like, removing buried females are nice. It's not always the easiest thing to do, but you really should do it as well. Be methodical with the way you do things. Like, come on, where did I see? Like that one there, but this one is in the herd again. Right, shall we move on from this? Because a lot of these are very small. That one there could come out. Whoop. Then back into the herd. You see what I mean? How hard this can be sometimes? There's the one there I wanted to take out. This one. Because it's very mottled on the body. It's almost like a cherry shrimp. Your standard cherry shrimp. So let them jump around for a second, especially if you're using one arm like I am. I'm actually propping myself up with my shoulder. So this is my least fun tank to cull. Make sure there's nothing in the net like this. Just spin it around, but do it over your little bowl thing. And again, I'll put some images up in the corner. And guys, it's very obvious when you see the macro kind of shots, how much work you missed when doing this, right? So these guys will go into the cull tub. See them? There's quite a few. Not so much actually, probably about 10. It's not that much. Let's go over here. We're walking over on our knees. Now normally I do my other tanks today as well. Once a week I like to try and do some culling. You don't have to worry about temperature and stuff. well, I don't have to worry about temperature and stuff. You know, I could swear that snail there is blue. You know, like a blue ram's horn snail? Maybe it is, maybe it's just a shell, I don't know. Normally I do these other tanks here today as well. There's my normal cherry shrimp tank here, zebra pintos, tangerine tigers, and my royal blue tigers here. But you can see I think I've had a light failure today, so this one's going to get missed until I get a new light for this tank, because culling with a light that's just like not very bright is really hard to do. Let's move on to the next tank. I think we'll do the blue bolts. We're just going to check the blue bolts here. I don't normally cull this tank very hard because the population is quite small. This is one of these tanks that I over-culled before. But it is nice, it has blue relays in it. These are shrimp that have like red on the outside of the skin, but they're actually blue fleshed, so when they have missing parts of pigmentation, it looks like there's red with blue. It's very nice to see. It looks cool as well. And again, this whole tank has been bred from shrimp that other people would consider culls. Painted fire red culls, basically. These are what these are, and then I've bred them, selectively bred them to be my blue relays. Now let's get on to the next tank. These are my blue boltos. And you guys, I haven't fed this tank yet, but you can see how much I have here at the front. And we talked about this before, my live streams. Let me just fix this light so we can get some of the shrimp out of this tank. My main goal with this tank is blue. This tank had blue steels in it, and it also has blue bolts in it, or had blue bolts in it, but blue steels are just more or less a tiger, some type of tiger that's been mixed with a blue bolt. And you get a lovely mottled pattern on the head of the shrimp, right? So I'm kind of regressing my shrimp a tiny wee bit as far as the naming goes, from blue steel to blue bolt, but I'm going for, it's almost like a blue steel bolt hybrid that is more or less all blue. Right, so with blue bolts, the more blue you have in the body, the higher the grade, right? So that's what we're looking for. So today we're just simply going to do this. I normally use this little cup, but because I'm filming, guys, it's just hard for me to do this. We're going to net out the undesirables in here, and we're going to put them straight into my tank up here, right? So, and it should be easy enough for me to do, I think. Culling's never very easy with one hand, right? So in this tank, anything that doesn't have a lot of blue coverage shall be coming out. Here's a, let's see, can you guys won't be able to see a thing actually. Oh, yes, there we go. This is it's almost like a Missouri crown, something that's come from the blue shrimp, but it's has very little blue and it's like clear. So out we go, like this. These little shrimp don't jump because they're so small. Let them come out themselves. You see it go down? So this is what I do in this tank. I'm looking for stuff that is clear or will add nothing to this colony, right? So I have lots of Misuras in here, Misura bolts. And normally, guys, these are highly prized, but when you want just blue shrimp, they're not. Or shrimp that just have a lot of black on the head, like this one here. Is this a Misura? This is like some kind of mottled blue thing again, you see it? I'm thinking you see it, you probably can't. Let me see, where are they? This tank is it is not too bad actually for culling, because I do this one much more than the other tanks. 3 little Missouri crowns, little blue Missouri crowns. Out you go, little fellas. Come on, another 2 there. Let's go. And this is a great thing about having all your tanks the same parameters, using the same water. You don't really have to worry so much about things. This tank is really thriving as well. I'm trying to get this one out here that is, this wouldn't be good as a blue bolt or a blue steel, so because the markings are so poor. This one, it's like a ghost on the back end. But here, right here, where my finger is, you guys can maybe could just see it. That is the grade we're heading for. You see it? I'll actually put a little macro footage piece up so you guys can see what we're looking for. I'll also put in the things that we're not looking for. Did that shrimp escape from here? I think it did actually, because there's nothing coming out of the net. Must have escaped. Escape from Alcatraz, or marked shrimp tanks. There's another one. This video today is just to give you an idea of my culling process. A little Malaysian trumpet snail. Let's see, come on. Is there a shrimp there? Yes, there is. Come on, little fella, there you go. And this tank here is one of my favourite tanks to look at because it's mixed so much. Let's have a little quick look before we move on to the next tank, because we will be moving on to the next tank. I normally cull this a little bit more thoroughly than this, but I'm pretty sure you guys are not going to see very much. Maybe get that guy out there. Whoop. And they're small, they're so fast. And then we'll go on to the next tank. Now I only have one more tank I plan to do today. And it is this one. And this one this one has been so hard culled that it looks like it's empty. But we still have shrimp in here that are undesirables. This tank is heading towards ruby reds. You can see some of them here. Ruby reds, ruby red extremes. That is the main goal. Basically, ruby red, guys, is red King Kong. Right, so here's a red King Kong at the back here. This is a nice grade red King Kong here. Yes, maybe you can just see that this lighting is very poor for this side. So we have a bigger red King Kong female here, another red King Kong, and I'm not sure if this is just a panda or this is in between red King Kong and a wine red, because wine red is the next grade down. Wine red is just a panda. Let's have a look. It's actually in between, so this guy, maybe, let me see, if it turns around it will tell us, yeah, it is a King Kong. So what I'm looking for in this tank is stuff that is just wine reds, that kind of thing. Right, and this tank, as I said, has been culled heavy. This had Missouri crowns. Any kind of red Taiwan B was in this tank before, but we sat down, I don't know, it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago in stream, and I thought, you know, let's cull this hard enough where we have a red King Kong tank instead. Missouri crowns, all that kind of stuff, all the redder ones were removed. Missouri crowns in its own right is a beautiful shrimp, but that's not what I wanted from this tank. The goal is red King Kongs like this, ruby reds, 2 ruby red extremes. Now all a ruby red extreme is the same kind of red that you see in a red King Kong, but there is no white at all. The extreme, that's where the extreme part of the word comes in. Right, I'll try and get some macro footage of these guys as well and put them up on the left hand side of the corner. As I'm speaking in this video, I'll put them up so you can see. But here's, I just noticed this little guy here coming into the picture. This is one I've missed. Now this, oh, where did it go? There's a bit of wood here right in the way. Up here, you see it? It's making me hard to net the thing. This is a little wine red. A wino. When they're small, they can be very hard to net. Tiny little wine red. So that is the grade that we don't want in here, so we're going to remove it. There's probably more. I have hard culled this tank to the point where I'm just seeing red King Kongs now, which is very good. Let's get this guy out of here. So that's all there was to my culling for today. Come on out you come, little fella. And then these guys come into my mixed tank here, and you can see I have all types of mixed shrimp in here. Beautiful, beautiful Mazur crowns, black tigers. This is, I've never had a black tiger, but this is what this is. Being bred from other shrimp. Another big, massive mama Mazur crown there. Even that's a cherry shrimp. Blue bolts, Mazur crowns, all different kinds in here. There's a King Kong. More blue bolts, more steels. Lots and lots of mottled looking shrimp from crossing with just each other. I mean, look at that guy there, isn't that one beautiful? Red bolts, more wine reds, lots of tangerine tiger hybrids. There's a lovely looking fancy tiger hybrid. This is a cross between a crystal red and one of these tangerine tigers. So this shows you where these shrimp originated from when you start crossing like this. It's very easy to see where pintos come from. Happy shrimp keeping, shrimp farm. Love you all. See you in the next one.